Good afternoon. My name is Chris Mason. I'm the Colonel of the Massachusetts State Police. I'd like to thank Tamar's family for inviting me to speak today. I'm truly honored and humbled by your request. As I thought about what to say today, I kept thinking about that picture. You know the one. The photo of Tamar at Gillette Stadium, taken May 6, 2020, the day of her graduation from the Massachusetts State Police Academy. You've no doubt seen the picture on our social media pages or on the news. A smiling Tamar stands in front of the field, her crisp uniform adorned with her newly pinned badge and her new title, that of Trooper. All earned through 6 hard months of sweat, study, and sacrifice. She is the very picture of quiet confidence and great promise. The picture reminds me of the potential that dedicated young troopers exhibit. I also know now from her sisters that this photograph was taken on a day Tamar described as one of the proudest of her life. When they told me that, I knew that Tamar was exactly the type of trooper we needed for these times. A trooper who had a calling to protect the vulnerable. A trooper who had a passion to make a difference. A trooper who had a genuine desire to serve others. So I thought it would be fitting on this somber day to revisit that much happier one. To look back at that bright, shining day of celebration. The Colonel of the State Police has the privilege to speak directly to recruit classes at their graduation exercises. On what was Tamar's proudest day, I chose to speak to the 85th Recruit Training Troop about the responsibility to serve, to place the needs of others in front of their own, to selflessly assist those who are vulnerable, those who are victims or survivors, those who are in need. I submit to you today that Tamar's actions throughout her career embodied this sentiment far better than my words ever could. This is a difficult job. These are difficult times. But these circumstances did not dissuade Tamar in the least. She felt in her heart an obligation to help others. And she earned that right as a Massachusetts State Trooper. As a trooper patrolling out of the Brookfield and Medford barracks, she acted with great professionalism and began to fulfill her promise. And that promise was limitless. To those that knew Tamar, to her drill instructors and her classmates, to her friends and barracks mates, to anyone who had the opportunity to observe her comportment and character, it was obvious that a stellar career marked by achievement and increasing levels of responsibility and rank and leadership awaited her. On that graduation day, I also told the 85th Recruit Training Troop that a difficult path before them would not be navigable without the love and support of family, friends, and mentors. I asked them to take a moment to reflect on the many sacrifices their families would be called upon to make in the future. Calls such as to adjust to unconventional work schedules, to understand why holidays and family gatherings had to be missed, to bear the burden of worry and loss. As we gather today, we know all too well the pain and the price of that burden. We thank Tamar's family for the love and support they gave her. We pledge to never forget Tamar and her sacrifice, nor will we ever forget the sacrifice of you who loved her. I want you to know that the Massachusetts State Police family is your family. We will be there for you each day, today, tomorrow, and every day into the future. I want to thank Maral, Jim, Anthony, Telena, Carissa, Troy, Laney, Dante, and especially the 2 strong grandmothers of the family, Rousiak and Rosa Marie. Thank you for sharing Tamar with us. For that, we are indebted to you. I'd also like to thank the many people who have provided an outpouring of support to Tamar's family and to the Massachusetts State Police during this difficult time. Thank you. Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Polito, and Secretary Reedy, and the many other dignitaries and law enforcement leaders and officers from across New England and indeed across our country, thank you. To Tamar's fellow troopers and classmates of the 85th Recruit Training Troop, thank you. And to the countless neighbors and citizens who have offered a kind word over these past few days, thank you. The impact of your love and support is immeasurable. My final recollection of Tamar's graduation day was a call to action. I spoke then of the qualities of courage, judgment, integrity, dedication. I asked the troopers to model and cultivate those qualities. To Tamar, you clearly met the challenge. I say well done. Tamar, we pledge with broken hearts, but with resolute determination to build upon your legacy and to use it as inspiration to create a brighter and safer world. God bless Trooper Tamar Bucci. God bless her family. God bless all she stood for. May she now rest in eternal peace.
As Tamar's stepdad, I'm honored to have this opportunity today to talk to all of you, tell you a little bit about our angel, who she was, but I'll be honest, there was a lot of concern from the family as to whether or not I could do this, whether or not I could get through it. And I'll be honest, I was a little concerned myself. Obviously, it's a very emotional situation right now. But I wouldn't give up this opportunity for anything in the world. To stand up in front of all of you today and tell you how wonderful she was, and to tell you the type of person that she was. Let me first start off with one of her favorite quotes. I feel God in this Chili's tonight. Most of you may not know what that means, and to Tamar, she's up there laughing at me right now. That was one of her favorite quotes from Pam on the TV show The Office. In fact, she had this engraved on a personal handgun that she purchased after she graduated the academy. It's just one peek into who she was: quirky, silly, physically strong, and absolutely gorgeous. Before I talk about Tum's most recent years, I'd like to begin with a little bit from her younger years. I asked my wife, her mom, and her sisters to tell me a little bit about who she was as a young kid. After listening to stories and laughing for hours, it's safe to say that if Tum didn't feel what she was doing deep in her soul, she was not going to be 100% in. In fact, she was 100% out. So what exactly does that mean? Well, if her sister was driving her in her Barbie Corvette and she wasn't having fun, she'd jump out. When her dance instructor wanted her to move ahead to the next level because of her talent, she was out. And as Father said earlier, when she skied down a mountain for the first time flawlessly and was cheered by everyone in amazement when she got to the bottom, she clicked off those skis, stuck them in the snow, said, "Not doing that again." But one of the things she did feel deep in her soul was a passion for fitness. She worked out daily, was a personal trainer for years, ran a marathon, and even did a bodybuilding competition. She also drove all of us crazy with her intense daily food schedules. but oddly enough felt that Sour Patch Kids and nerds were a great pre-workout. When at the gym, she took her workouts extremely serious. In fact, you couldn't even think about talking to Tom during a workout. And for any of you guys here that knew her from the gym, I know there's a few of you in here, I know you labeled her the Ice Princess. And you know what? I was perfectly okay with that. Because Tom could handle and take care of anything. She was a strong person physically and even stronger emotionally. When Tamar was in the State Police Academy, she lived with me and her mom. Every Friday she'd come home and share stories about her torturous week of training. We know what she endured physically and mentally during that time. And we also knew that she did whatever she could to help support the other females in the academy. I know at times she'd hold somebody up, help them complete one of the long runs. That's the type of supporting person she was. In fact, today, you may have witnessed the 6 female pallbearers, plus one, who brought Tom into the church today. Well, I can tell all of you, she's looking down, feeling proud, and smiling at each and every one of you. I also know she's probably saying, it's about time you ladies carried me. But Tamar was not always incredibly intense. She was altruistic, compassionate, able to make light of any situation. Tamar was the one at the family gatherings that had everyone on the floor laughing, whether it was a witty one-liner or a silly gag gift. She loved hanging out with her mom and me and treated every moment like a comedy skit. She was always entertaining her large group of followers on social media to videos titled Morale in Her Natural Habitat, which usually included her mom watching me mow the lawn, watching me clean out the shed, watching me dig out bushes. She had a whole series on morale instructing her minion, with a lot of the same activities taking place. Yes, we were the muse in all of her videos, and I wouldn't change that for a minute. Another thing that Tamar felt deep in her soul was a special connection to spirituality. Most people are unaware of the deep connections that she had to another world. But this was very, very special to her. I will tell you, and this is true, it wasn't easy as we all sat around to write the obituary and had to deal with the lights flickering in the room. On and off, they continued to go as we sat there and finished that obituary. We know at that time she was there with us. And many are aware that Tamar is badge 4440. But what most do not know is that the number 444 is an angel number. Number that has special meaning in many religions and cultures. In fact, what 444 means is, in most positive light, I have arrived, and my time has come. I could go on and on about my beautiful Tom and talk for hours about all her beautiful characteristics. But she's now protecting all of us from above. And I'm confident that we'll continue to feel her presence while we're here on earth. So let me end with another of her favorite quotes, this one from Albus Dumbledore of Harry Potter. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if one only remember to turn on the light.